I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
That's right, baby. We're here today to make the fellow.
It is my favorite thing when you just start a sentence before you know where it's gonna end.
It's because I used to overthink. I used to like not speak because I'd be like, okay, would it be funny if I said this? Well, now I have to, like, my family literally made fun of me for being too late on a joke. And so I had to learn how to just go and trust that
just jump on in, man.
Correct. And if I fail, that's also funny.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of acceptance has come to me on this path, but Ben and I are back. We are here to do the Fellowship fights, aka Middle Earth melee.
Absolutely.
This was a great idea on your part, Ben. So congratulations.
You know, just like, I'm not a big, I watch anime and like power scaling is like a big thing. They're like, oh, could Goku beat whoever? No, like stop putting Goku up against people. The Dragon Ball universe is so insane. Like, they destroy planets like on the daily.
Oh.
Goku's probably gonna win.
Gotcha.
Like, congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I do like that guy who pits 10 million Urukai against 100,000 Harry Potters.
That's awesome. More of that content. That's the content you fall asleep to on YouTube right there, honestly.
And he's like, Curio.
I did see one where the guy kept trying to make Helm's Deep where the good guys won, and it was almost impossible.
Really?
Because like he gave it was like, he said, 200 men, 500 elves, and our 3 lovable, Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn, and he like crazy buffed them to where Legolas is like machine gunning arrows. Like, it's so funny. Like, you see him just doing this, like pulling out of his back, and it's like 20 arrows coming out at a time. And like Gimli and Aragorn like have, crazy strength and a lot more health and stuff like that. And they just kept losing. They just, like, Legolas was always the last standing because no one could get close to him.
Because he's literally repelling them with 5,000 arrows. That's fantastic.
And then even when it was something about like how the AI would like react and how it would move. But like even when Eomer came with Gandalf, like he had the 2,000 horses coming in.
Right.
They wouldn't get to Legolas and them in time.
No.
And then the 2,000 would still be outnumbered and they would die too.
No.
Yeah.
Terrible. And I think in the book, elves aren't there, by the way.
No, I don't know how they win in the book.
They should. I mean, we're supposed to believe Helm's Deep is that good, but they shouldn't win. That's exactly.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of the story, Ben.
They just like I read it, within the last like year or so, and they're just like, oh, they crashed upon the walls like waves, and then they fell back. Why'd they fall back? Like we have talked about it at length.
He
where
doesn't
he doesn't like writing combat, and I feel like that. He writes a lot about Pelennor Fields, obviously, but just like that is kind of like the one time where King Theoden doesn't get knocked unconscious and wake up after the victory or something.
No, he just gets knocked dead, but he at least gets, but we get to see some of that and what actually happened. Yeah. I think he does save the good fight for the last of it, but you're exactly right. We have no idea what happened in Helm's Deep, and we may never know. That's actually very sad and very funny. We have pit certain characters that you know and love against each other, and they are ranging from the new Ride of the Rohirrim movie to The Hobbit to The Fellowship. We are not allowing weapons. This is going to be MMA style fighting.
Yes, gloves only.
Yeah, putting them in an octagon. No nunchucks or anything. Do people fight with nunchucks? Is it just
not in Middle Earth?
In general.
I think they do. Like, there's that reading way too much into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, whereas like Splinter gave the turtles weapons to like go along with their personality.
Yeah, to hone their personality or improve
like Mikey has nunchucks because it's a very disciplined weapon, and he's like this ADHD kid. Like,
right.
He's like always. And then Leonardo has the sword, which is the deadliest weapon. He has to learn how to lead without killing. Donatello is the really smart one, but he got a bow staff, this very simple weapon. So how can he like learn to use that? And then Raphael, who is like, always on attack, has a sai, which is a very defensive weapon. So it's like all these like I appreciate the breaking down. It's TMMT. I love the last movie. If you guys haven't seen Mutant Mayhem, go see Mutant Mayhem. It's amazing. It's so funny.
Is it really?
It's so good. It is literally, it's the first time they're actually teenagers. So it's, and like, they're New York teenagers. And 21st century teenagers. So it's so funny.
I do enjoy that. It's hard to imagine anything besides my version of the Ninja Turtles, but I also don't want to go back and watch them. I want someone to make new ones of those guys today, if that makes sense.
In the suits with the heavy accents?
Oh, yeah. Hey.
That was when I first started cussing, was because of the turtles.
Why?
Raphael says damn like a bunch of times in the movie.
Damn.
Well, like I do recommend you go back to watch at least like the first one, because it's like dark. Like it is pre-Giuliani New York City, so it's like grimy.
Yeah.
And they like it is not, and so like if you watch, Secret of the Ooze, they had to roll back like they don't use their weapons in the second one. Like literally, we're talking about Raphael's size. He takes out like, a string of sausages, and it like the swords are like on his back, and like he's just like
I kind of remember, it's like more Home Alone-ish.
It is.
Right. It like improvised weaponry and just knocking people out. Okay, I actually probably should go on a deep dive and just watch that. I remember the video games. Dude, come on. There's nothing topped those versions of I used to draw them. I wasn't able to draw, so I had like you know how like kids draw with like the arms and legs out like that.
Yeah,
so
of course.
I had that of all the Power Rangers and all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anyway, we're here to do Lord of the Rings. Ben and I have a heck of a lineup, which is very exciting.
We do have 7 good fights lined up for you,
and we're gonna do our best to just imagine how the fights go and try to determine a winner based on our arguments for each respective fight. And if you're just joining us right now because you don't like our preamble, we're starting with the Hobbits.
And we're starting a little feisty here. It's a little 2v2 going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ring. Sam and Frodo versus Pippin and Merry.
That's right. And I do want to say, like, are we going to allow book stuff in here? Because...
I think we have to, right?
I think we have to.
I think we're throwing everything at it that we can. Don't you think? Like all our knowledge. Why?
Now,
why do you ask that, though?
I think if we're doing book stuff here, I do think Frodo and Sam get wiped pretty quick.
You think so?
I do. Well, okay. So I'm not going... It's like... Pippin and Merry are almost 4 feet tall by the time the books end.
That's exactly
like
right.
they're like
the tallest hobbits on the planet.
They're like David Robinson and Tim Duncan when they come back to the Shire.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think I understand.
Now Sam, I think, is gonna hold his own. Now I'm not saying Frodo's a bad fighter, but I'm also not saying that.
We don't get a good sample of... I think Frodo is scrappy. I think he's going to utilize the ring, and he might actually overtake both of them because of that. And he's got the mithril. I know mithril's not going to stop blunt force impact, but he's
everyone's shirtless or in Under Armour.
He's got, and his Under Armour is mithril.
Oh, he's got...
Yeah. Bro, that is the definition of Under Armour. That's what everyone wants. He's got the mithril, and like it's too shiny and it's throwing Merry and Pippin off. And I actually wonder if Sam isn't good at fighting because he's so worried about Frodo.
That's the thing, is that I feel like Sam might be able to even win the 2v1 if Frodo gets like knocked out.
Right.
He's going to go full Hulk mode.
He's got an adrenaline, like mommy kicks in.
Yeah. Sam's nickname is the Constant Gardener.
Is that right?
No. I'm just...
that's very good. That's incredible.
We got to make up fight names. Pippin is second breakfast. What would Merry be?
Merry, but not glad. The Merry murderer. Shut up, dude. Come on, that was excellent. We're both poetic right now. The Constant Gardener, married but not glad.
Would it be Long Bottom Leaf or something like that?
Ooh, Long Bottom Leaf.
Merry doesn't have any like iconic lines. That's the only problem.
Merry Mapper. He loves maps in the book.
There it is.
He also stabs the heel of the Witch King.
He does.
Yeah, Merry Murderer, I think, is right. Like, just what?
Just the way it's not even the name, just the way you said. Yeah, I think Merry Murderer.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, so Sam is Constant Gardener. What is Frodo?
Freaky Frodo.
Or Nine-Fingered Frodo?
Oh, yeah. Nine-Fingers Frodo is very good. But does he have the ring? I think that changes things.
No, he doesn't have the ring.
Doesn't have the ring. Okay.
No, there's no weapons.
Then I think Merry and Pippin win.
I think it's closer than people would think, like seeing it on paper.
Yeah.
But I do think, especially with the size advantage, like they're gonna have the reach, they're gonna have the weight.
They survived the whole orc melee situation. Like, not that they fought, but both of them like took up arms for their respective kings.
Way more battle experience
at this point, and Frodo is just like dodgy and then trips and gets stabbed, and Sam's only good after Frodo gets knocked out. So I do think Frodo gets knocked out soon in the fight.
I'm not going off animated Sam Gamgee. They did him so dirty in that Ralph Bakshi movie. Oh, Mr. Frodo. he gets done so filthy in those movies. So I refuse to acknowledge Sam.
That's my Sam Gamgee.
I know that is Jessica. Like, Jessica time traveled and got that done.
It actually made me like him more. How badly he was treated. I realized what a sorry sack he is.
Jessica really had a come to Jesus moment. She's like, "Is this me?
I had to have my own heel turn. You know what I mean? I had a hero turn on that one. So I definitely don't want that to be my Sam. So I think Sam does like rally after like Frodo gets knocked out by like a clobber punch from Pippin or something like that. I think Pippin's like really scrappy and like bah! And like hitting him a lot, and like Frodo just like plays dead. Maybe Frodo plays dead.
But then, so this is what happens. I think I've got it.
Okay.
Merry is gonna fight Sam. Pippin's gonna fight Frodo.
Yes.
Pippin is going to gut punch Frodo. Frodo's gonna lie down and play dead.
Yes.
Sam's gonna see that, throw Merry off of him.
Yes.
Knock out Pippin.
Yes.
And right when Frodo's like, "We did it, Sam," Pippin's gonna land on Frodo, knocking him out. And then once Sam realizes what he's done, Merry's gonna knock Sam out.
Yes, that's exactly right. You're totally right. We got our first winner of our matches. I feel good that Sam's a loser in this situation, though. I really do. I haven't come this far. I haven't come
not full circle. Not full circle. There's still a little hater left in there. I saw that meme the other day on Instagram where it was just like being kind, it costs nothing. It's like, yeah, being a hater is fucking free too, also, man.
Bro, I love that. I haven't seen that. That is fantastic, and I'm gonna internalize that. All right, Ding, ding, ding. Round 1 is over. We are moving on to round 2. Welcome to the stage. Her hair is glowing blonde locks. She likes to ride those horses. Gentlemen, welcome to Eowyn. And in the other corner, we have a fiery red hair. Also likes to ride them horses. She's got a wild spirit. And we're welcoming Hera. Rah, rah, rah.
This, I think, is going to be a close fight. So, if you guys didn't hear, Eowyn versus Hera from Ride of the Rohirrim.
Yeah, that was a lot. I might have to cut it. Question.
Okay.
I know that maybe this is sexist because they're women. Do you have to clip your nails before you do MMA?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you can't
it's not sexist. We in water polo, they would do a nail check before every game.
Really? Does it feel like your water's soggy and you're like touching so much and like
you're pushing up on people and like I've had I have Wolverine marks on me before.
Ugh, gross.
No, absolutely. It's not sexist at all.
Okay, great. I mean, but it's sexist because I thought about it only for the women being able to do this. But it makes sense that like you gotta get your toenails cut, you gotta get your fingernails cut, and I think if you're Eowyn and Hera, you have to cornrow your hair here, so that way.
Yeah, they braid them.
Yeah,
most female fighters braid
because you don't want to like. The pulling of the situation is like you don't. I'm sure you can't pull hair, right?
You can't.
Yeah, but you don't want like one straggling.
You don't want it falling in your face either,
right? So I'm just trying to think of like what are there. You're right that the problem. This is something we talked about when we talked about the Rise of Rohirrim. Hera is just like a mirror to Eowyn. It's not.
That's the thing. It's a close fight. But
what are their skill sets here? You know.
Okay, their skill sets are Eowyn rides into the biggest battle of the Third Age and survives while killing the most fearsome fighter that's not named Sauron.
For love.
For love. Hera doesn't do that, but also goes up. She's
a psycho.
That's the thing. Like she's mostly like a swift rider for most of the movie.
Yeah.
But then she does go 1v1 and win 2 different times against, what's his name, Wolf?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Like, beats him twice. Mm-hmm. Even after, like, she beats him, and then, something happens that distracts her, and then she beats him again.
Yeah, totally. So, but those are sword battles, also.
Those are.
That being said, they're obviously physically capable. I just think... this is a scrappy on the floor.
This is a scrap,
dude. They are in a ball for the majority of it in 1/8 of the octagon for like.
And I don't want anything to deter this, but like if you have never seen a UFC women's fight, they are so much more brutal than men.
I believe it.
I don't know if it's like the thing like societal brain. We're like, oh, I don't want to see women fight, like that whole like kind of gender class thing, just like that's been beaten into like at least our generation, like from birth.
Sure.
But because I work at a sports bar, so we do all the fights like every Saturday, and even this last one, like there's this Chinese fighter that brutally, they call her Dr. Sleep because she's going to medical school.
Whoa.
And she almost talk about.
Killing
we weren't
somebody.
recording.
No.
She almost killed someone. They had to stretcher her off from the octagon. Usually, like in most fights, like they get knocked out, doctor would check on them, and then they'll all like go to the hospital.
Right.
They've been hitting their brain for the last 10 minutes.
Right.
But
this is such a great sport.
From in Romania, there's like a 10v2 that like 10 amateurs that have never fought before going up against 2 pro fighters.
I love that.
It's amazing stuff,
dude. I came across on. I finish with that, and then I'll share something I found on the internet.
I mean, we could have done this, but there's full armor UFC now, like where guys in Renaissance fair gear, full armor, hitting each other with like blunted swords and maces and stuff.
Stupid. No, I found oil wrestling. I think it's a Turkish tradition where I've
also found some oil. That's been going on for a while, Jessica.
2 dudes in leather pants, and the guy has to stick his hand into the pants to find a stronghold to flip.
Just fuck each other.
I thought I'm saying. So
what are we doing? What are we doing here?
You know there's anal penetration.
What are we doing? Like, there's no judgment here.
No,
what workaround are we going? That like
that's my point. I think women aren't afraid to get that intimate. I think men are, but obviously not in Turkey.
No. But like, there's a. Have you seen seatbelt UFC or seatbelt jiu-jitsu?
No.
They like you start in the like the passenger and driver seat of a car, and like with your seatbelt on, and whoever taps. And so like people are like getting choked out with seatbelts and like, you know, from the back seat. Like it's honestly very entertaining.
But why? Why do we do this?
Why? Because what else do we have, Jessica? Have you seen the corporations taking over the world? Have you seen that Elon Musk is like in charge of almost every facet of our government now?
Oh,
I want to watch someone get choked out with a fucking seatbelt in a fucking Saturn. Okay. You know what? Self-defense. Someone tries to mug me. I know that I can like pull the seatbelt and move my seat back. Like
you're learning. I totally get it. That's a very valid reason. That's why you watch horror films, is so you can learn instincts, right? God damn. I think going back to the Eowyn Hera fight, I think Eowyn pulls it out.
I think it's a little bit movie bias that Eowyn wins this, but I can't really blame you for it. But if she does,
that's a really good point.
It's like a 51-49.
I guess that's all I mean. Is like she just ekes it out. I think like they are both bloody. Yeah.
I think this goes to the judges. I don't think anyone gets knocked out. I think this goes to the judges. And
ooh, I forgot about that. Sure.
I think this is a like, you know, a split decision.
Yes.
You know, 1 point here, 1 point there, one knockdown, one, you know, almost got the arm bar, a couple of more punches landed or something like that. But yeah, both of these ladies are bruised and bloodied. I think Eowyn really, I think a lot of people, I would bet on Hera because the odds would be insane.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, I think it'd be worth it to put $100 on Hera because the payout would be like 10 grand or something like that.
You got to take that bet. That bet. That's a really excellent point. Unfortunately, she doesn't eke it out. I think you're right. I think Eowyn ekes it out. Hera might, you know, here's something. If we're looking at like movie versions of them, Hera was underestimated.
She was.
Eowyn was too. That's our, you know, issue with the movie in general, that it's kind of the same person. But maybe because Hera is just even more so, that is like her entire arc is that she's underestimated. Maybe she does win this fight.
I think it's possible, honestly. Like, yeah. I'm not going to be mad if we give it, you know, a 51-49 to Eowyn. But, I think she's earned that. You know, she did defeat the Witch King. Like, it's a much bigger opponent than, you know, some, like, wolf guy.
Yes.
Some emo boy. But you scarred me when I was a child. I will forever hold this against you, that you immediately didn't want to marry me. I'm sorry that my scary spit-fleeing father tried to arrange a marriage, and within 10 seconds you didn't fall to your knees and start fellating me.
It's always like this, Era.
What's the worst that I could say?
We just got a really good glimpse into you being 13.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, but I think at 13... That was 8th grade. That was more Linkin Park. I hadn't gotten. Sure. That was more like Linkin Park and Papa Roach.
People were my era of people dealing with Linkin Park and like Evanescence were the girls that would do sign dances to it.
Of course. And it's like, it's so unfortunate because like Amy Lee from Evanescence is one of the best singers of all time.
Yeah.
And that song legitimately fucking rips. But it's in Daredevil, which is a terrible movie.
Oh.
And that's the thing, like going off topic even further. Mm-hmm. Just like, I liked Deadpool and Wolverine. I thought it was fine. But like when people cheered when fucking Elektra like the cameoed.
You can't.
Y'all. I like Jennifer Garner. She's great. she deserves, like, she's had a great career, but she deserves, like, to be in more things
Her
now.
just desserts, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Electra's a dog shit movie, guys. It is legitimately a borderline not movie. Like, so I don't want y'all cheering for Electra when she comes on screen.
Like you liked it. Like you've been waiting.
Her joke when they were like, "Oh, where's Daredevil?" and she's like, "Oh, he died." Like, that's funny. That's funny. Give me that. But don't be like, "Oh my God, it's Electra. She's back."
Well, that's why she was the first one that they nodded to. And Channing Tatum was a real nothing burger to me. Because, like, you really had to know that was in the back burner.
What? Like, that is where we are as a society, that everybody, like, it is common knowledge to a degree. I'm sure there's plenty of people, like my parents probably wouldn't know.
I didn't know this either.
Yeah, like, where it's like, oh, well, there was, like, a lot of big contract issues with Channing Tatum's Gambit movie, so it just never got made. That's why we're so happy to see him in Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's why we're stoked. But the Blade reveal was the best.
Did you say stoked or soaked?
I'm gonna let the audience replay
the audience. Okay, yeah.
Find out. I am not gonna answer that for you. Well, I think whether it's Eowyn or Hera, it's actually too close to call, and it does go to the judges. So I think we're gonna let the audience.
Leave a comment.
They're gonna give the 1 point, and we'll find out based off of that.
I like that. I'm okay letting the audience decide this one, because I honestly feel like it would be a split decision, and it just depends on who got that last punch in, basically.
That's exactly right. I think that's right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ring, the third match of the evening. You know them, they're brothers. They're from the same mother. It's Eomer and Boromir. Nope.
They're not.
I was thinking we were doing Boromir and Faramir.
Gotcha.
It's Eomer and Boromir. They are not related. They're not from the same clan at all.
Leave it in.
I'm going to
leave it in.
I live this life proudly.
Yeah.
It's Eomer and Boromir, guys.
Eomer versus Boromir are two brawny boys. Like, these guys are who I'd want in a bar fight.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could take Aragorn, you could have, whatever elf of your choosing or something like that, but, like, if I'm going to, like, a dive bar, if I'm in Yellowstone, if I'm in the TV show Yellowstone, and I gotta go up against John Dutton or Rip or something like that.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
I know. I want Eomer or Boromir next to me, because they like, I feel like more than anybody on this list, they have fought their entire lives with, like, all of their friends. They have gotten into more scraps than anyone.
It's very Thor-esque, right? Like,
very Thor-esque.
Everyone's Viking fighting each other or Norse fighting each other. Like, it's your pit against. This is why I'm surprised Faramir probably isn't as good in battle, because he probably had to fight Boromir a lot.
I think, like, Faramir's very capable.
Sure.
Like, I'm sure he had to defend himself, but, like, he was off in the library and reading books and hanging with Gandalf. Like.
Sure. So I think both of them, like, had to fight their best friends. They don't have best friends for this reason, just to go back, if I was in a bar fight, I'd want Patrick Swayze. That's the only person I would want in a bar fight next to me.
Patrick Swayze is like 5'7", right?
I'm talking about Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse, bro.
Yeah, he's still 5'7".
And you know what? He has disarming ways.
I love Roadhouse, by the way.
This is the best movie. I live my life.
Did you see the new one with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Why would I?
It's fine, but it, like, misses everything about the original. Like, it's a very strange one, and it's so much so that, like, in Roadhouse, he gives that speech of, like, be nice.
Yeah.
If you got to kick someone
That's
out,
what I'm saying.
nice.
That's my, like, life philosophy.
That's totally fair, but it was so random. Like, we're in the final fight where Jake Gyllenhaal is fighting Conor McGregor, like, that's, like, the big fight of the movie, and then randomly Jake Gyllenhaal just yells, be nice! For no reason. Like, he's never said it before. He's fighting the main villain of the movie, who's, like, already murdered 3 people. It was very weird. I understand,
Patrick Swayze wasn't nice to Connor at the end. It's because he murdered people. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, that's the thing. But like it makes no sense because like he never makes a be nice speech. He never has like a thing.
Why remake a perfect movie?
I don't know. It felt like the beginning of it was very reminiscent. Where like the first fight he gets into, he's like, "Where's the closest hospital? Who's gonna drive?" Like, you know, there's like moments like that where like, okay, you're capturing the Dalton spirit here.
Yeah.
But then it kind of like devolves and like goes off. It's like, eh.
Well, you know what? This will be my litmus test for whether it's good or not. Do they have the line, "I fucked guys like you in prison"?
No.
Then
and I don't know why, because you have Conor McGregor acting like a steroided up leprechaun in this movie, and I don't mean that offensively because he would even say that. But like he's literally just like this. Hey, oi, Jake Gyllenhaal, like the whole movie, and he's not a good actor at all, but he's doing exactly what he's asked to do.
Yeah,
it's perfectly
totally,
fine.
Totally.
And so why wouldn't you have this coked out, roided out man just yell that in Jake Gyllenhaal's face?
It is the most unhinged thing.
It is the worst threat in the history of movies. That's
exactly right. You'd fuck somebody up mentally and then fuck them up in the ring. Let's go back to the ring. This fight is going to be good. It's going to be brawl. It's going to be a lot of meat slapping, like boom, like big.
Oh yeah, these are the heavyweights.
Yeah, these are like, you know, flank side, like the Rocky like punches. These guys are like getting winded. I also don't know that there's going to be a pass out here, or like a knockout.
I think there would be a knockout. I don't think anyone's tapping.
No one's tapping.
Because like if Boromir gets Eomer in a chokehold, he's not tapping out. He's passing out. He's passing out. He will literally go limp before he taps out. Well, that's because they've already done that. You know what I mean? Like, to your exact point, this is how they fought as kids. Yes.
He's never tapped out. The first time he got tapped out, he got fucking like, you know, teabagged, and he never did it again. You know what I mean? So, but who wins?
I think
its fight goes on for. Does it go on for? Actually, might not go on for a long time because these are big dudes that get winded too.
These are big dudes that get winded, but I do think it goes at least into the second round.
Let's not forget, Boromir has Númenorian blood, doesn't he?
Does he?
I'm pretty sure Gondor is descendant of Númenor in more ways than the Rohirrim are.
Gotcha. I was gonna give it to Boromir regardless,
but I think it is Boromir in this situation.
I think it is Boromir by a hair. Like we chose these fights for a reason. They all were gonna be close.
Yeah. And you pay good money to watch these fights.
Yeah, these are all the undercards. You guys don't know what our main event is yet. Just you wait. But I've got to give it to Boromir by a blonde hair.
Yep. I couldn't agree with you more.
I think that just his upbringing of being the son, like he's not pampered. This isn't a Nepo baby. That man was in the trenches with his men, and constantly fighting with his younger brother. Like I do think Eomer had Theodred. That was his brother that he was probably always, beating up on.
Totally.
But like it's different when you're fighting the king's son. You can't really beat him. And so I think like just a little bit, Boromir's got like the slight advantage.
But that could also make him weak if you can't beat the king's son.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
All right. So you're calling it.
I think Boromir's got it. This is a knockout. And I'm not saying like, it's like a dominating fight.
Out. It's a pass out. I think they like.
Oh yeah. Okay, so he's got him in a chokehold, and Eomer refuses to tap. So he just
I think Eomer doesn't. Yeah, Eomer would not give up. No. I do think I'm going to say this. Eomer probably also gets a little scrappy.
Oh,
more than
Boromir's going to the hospital.
Yeah.
Boromir's got one eye. One eye closed, lip bloody. Like Oh, it's so crazy to see like when
for sure.
like he's got one of those like people always elbow and like always the cuts right above the eye open up
God.
and just like there's blood all over the ring.
Oh.
We're having to change the ring sheets every fight because these are all getting crazy.
All right. Well, we got that winner. We're moving right along gingerly to. Oh, this is a good one. Do you want to announce it?
Next up, we have our first Elven duel of the night. And this is between two daddies. One is from your favorite series of movies and has one of the best lines in the world. You should have stayed dead. And that's Elrond versus dwarves. in Gil-Galad. Like I honestly had forgotten about both those lines until I was just thinking about them.
Jesus, that's really fucking funny.
It's really good. So we've got Elrond versus Gil-Galad. I just rewatched, and I gotta say, man,
well, you know how you feel.
we finished the Fellowship last time I was at home. Or the Lord of the Rings, and so I was like, let's watch The Hobbit, and they're all on HBO Max with extended editions.
Yep.
And the more I watch the first two, the more I really like them. There's definitely, especially the extended Desolation of Smaug, like it's fine, but that Benedict Cumberbatch at the end is just so good. Battle of the Five Armies is the most batshit fucking insane movie to ever have like Middle Earth stamped upon it, but it is so fun. If I literally texted Jess this, I was like, they need to make a video game of just this movie.
It's a great idea. I can't believe they didn't actually.
Yeah, there's a 12-hour playthrough video game of just Battle of the Five Armies. There's so many moments where you could just like switch characters, switch perspectives. It's so ridiculous. It's not a good movie, but it's so fun.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
I get it. And it's bad good.
It is. Like, when you compare it to Lord of the Rings, it's going to be bad. But if you just, like, leave it by itself and just take it as it is, it's so fun.
It's almost better because of the Lord of the Rings, because you know what it should be and what it isn't. And you can, like, love it because of that.
Yeah, we've got Helm's Deep. We've got Pelennor Fields. We have all these things. Enjoy those. And then turn your fucking brain off and watch for 3 hours this CGI clusterfuck of, like, that's the one extended edition of the Hobbit trilogy you need to watch is Battle of the Five Armies, because they get into, like, this war wagon on a frozen river. And they're, like, gunning down wolves and slicing 6 troll heads off, like, with wheels, like it's Ben-Hur. Like, it's crazy. It's fucking insane.
That's fantastic. It is insane. And I'm grateful that you helped me to see the light on that one. So there's a couple things that we need to keep in mind when we're talking about Elrond and Gil-Galad. Gil-Galad does die in the Battle of the Last Alliance.
Yes, he is killed by Sauron.
Yes. Elrond pussy, because Elrond survives that fucker.
Fucking beta.
He does do awesome though in the fight that we saw in the last 2 episodes of Rings of Power. He is a baddie daddy for sure.
Him in that armor, man. He's got linebacker shoulders, dude.
Ooh. Listen, I thought it was weird casting to begin with.
Same.
Because he's got a thick head. He looks like a Númenorian. Looks are important. They are. I'm sorry. And I keep him in the series. I just thought he was a weird Gil-Galad choice. That's all.
Yeah.
But then you get him dwarves.
Season 2, like, I can't love season 2 enough. That's with exactly how right. It just, like, redeemed everything, like, so many things we had doubts about.
Yep.
And Gil-Galad was number 1 of, like, oh, we've got this. Y'all are in the wrong. And I'm fully okay with eating that crow.
Singing, emotional, fighting. Now, I don't know that, like, let's start here. How do both of them enter the ring?
Stoically.
Yeah.
They have seen the things Elrond has seen you couldn't even imagine. Gil-Galad has also seen quite a bit.
Yeah.
His life just ends earlier.
Yeah.
At the worst battle in the history.
Well, Gil-Galad saw the light of the two trees. Elrond did not. So Gil-Galad definitely had a lot of life before
That's the
Elrond
thing.
baby came into the world.
It is insane to think about what these two guys have gone through.
Yeah.
And so this is nothing. This is nothing to them. This is a day at the office.
Is this an elegant or brutal fight?
I think it starts off as elegant. I think, they're like, put them up here. Yeah, see?
You think they're fisticuffing?
I think they're fisticuffing. And then I think after the first punch is thrown, they're like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And then all elven veneer and like distinguishment, all these things like just vanish.
It turns into a fanfic porn real quick, I think.
No, it doesn't.
Like,
no, it doesn't. Stop it.
Of course it does. All I can see them is in oiled up pants.
You did this. Right. What do you mean? You're the only one who talks about oiled up leather pants.
It was hot. So here's how I think you're right that they're not like 1920s style fighting Irish style, but they are like in their respective corners, like trying to psych out the other and like assess the weaknesses. Like,
okay,
there's a lot of nothing happening for a while, and we just see them assessing like emotionally who's gonna break.
Yeah, round one, no one throws a punch.
No, but they just get like closer and closer as this happens. And then there is like a lot of like swift dodging and like moving, like it's almost synchronized. I think.
Okay.
I think this is probably
I think this is like, I don't think they know like martial arts, but it is one of those martial arts movies where just like every punch is being thrown, and it's like that anime dialogue where they're like, oh, if I do this, then he's gonna do this, and you know what it is?
What?
I got it.
Okay, Ben's got it.
There's a Jet Li movie called Hero.
Okay.
And in the rain, he goes to fight Donnie Yen, and they're both like meditating, and there's a guy playing an instrument. I don't know what the instrument is, but it's like that Chinese kind of string instrument that like he plays on the ground.
Yeah.
I
want to say it's violin, but I'm sure that's exactly wrong.
And so he pays him to play another song, and during this song, they're just like in the rain meditating, and they're imagining this entire fight. So like us, the audience, we get to see Donnie Yen versus Jet Li, which is like this legendary matchup.
Right.
But then finally, at the crescendo of the fight, they both realize what the killing blow would be, and they one hit, and Jet Li wins by one hit. So like in reality, there was one move made, but like for the audience, we got to see the entire fight play out in their heads.
Dude, that's 100% it.
That's what happens. But
and I think Elrond has it.
Okay? I expected you to be a Gil-Galad.
No, it's because he's a little younger, he's a little scrappier, and he wants it a little bit more.
By the way, this is Hugo Weaving Elrond. This is not. Yeah.
Well,
this is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that still gives it to him.
Now, I am quoted on this podcast saying Richard Aramayo has proved me wrong in so many ways. Again, with season 2. He looked great in the armor. He was badass during the battle. He is not Hugo Weaving.
Oh, no. He's not winning this one. Gil-Galad in that fight.
Gil-Galad is like wiping his ass. There's no like thought out battle. He is literally
fucking with him.
Yeah.
In the ring. He's like, hey, I'm over here.
Yeah, he's got like his hand on his forehead, like while Elrond's like, meh.
Totally. That's exactly right. No, Hugo Weaving, Elrond gets that one punch in.
I think so too.
And like freezes Gil-Galad. And Gil-Galad's just about to do that fight. Like do that same move, but Elrond's got it on him. Just like
I think you know what it is? It's the 5-finger death punch.
That's
right
100%
to the kidneys.
What I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Was
like
when you were talking
Gil-Galad goes for like the overhand haymaker knockout, and Elrond goes whoop. boom, right in the kidney, and just he can't get up. Like he's not knocked out.
I thought you were talking about the Kill Bill thing.
Oh no! Like a 5-finger death punch is like a real thing where like you hit someone in the kidneys and like they're like bleeding internally and they can't.
Sick, dope, cool,
yeah,
fuck, nice, cool. I was told wrong about Shellin. It's the pipa, I think, a pear-shaped wooden body with frets like those on a guitar. I think that's
okay. That sounds right.
I've never heard the name. But yeah, I think Elrond ekes it out, and I think it is a mind battle for sure.
Yes.
I really, really like that.
Not the most entertaining for our audience, that bought tickets to this.
Sure.
Because like what was like people that have been making fun of Harry Potter have been like doing such a good job with the Triwizard Tournament. Whereas like, oh, the first event we get to see them like fight a dragon. Oh, the dragon flew off. Well, we didn't get to see that, but Harry won. And then like the second event's like, oh, they get to rescue someone underwater. Are there like cameras underwater?
Yeah.
No, we just watched the top of the lake at 8 a.m. in the winter. Cool. Yep. What's the last event? Oh, they're going to go into this really tall maze with like 40-foot hedge walls. Do we see any of that? Nope. We just got to trust that, they're going to find the winner. Amazing spectator sport.
It's so true and so funny, and it is exactly like this. There's not a lot to see unless you enjoy watching two men thinking intently for about 45 minutes, probably.
Probably for like, I think it's going to be a 5-round fight. They're thinking about it for 4.5 of those rounds.
That's exactly right. And they don't even go to sit down. They just stand the entire time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
They don't, there's no like, training crew. There's no like towel guy. Nope. Like it's just these two guys.
No. What's his face? But what about that guy? Frodo is great. Figwit. Frodo is great.
Yeah. He does have Figwit from what's that? The band or whatever. Yeah.
He's there.
Lady Arwen.
Lady Arwen. All right, we're getting down to the title fights. We're not quite there, but this one you can't wait. I know if our friend Scott Rubin is listening, he's thinking about this in a whole different way.
Oh God.
We've got Arwen versus Tauriel.
Arwen versus Tauriel. This
Arwen wins. Fuck it. Moving on.
Yeah, I think the one landslide fight that we have on the cards.
Tauriel is just not special, dude. She's just not.
She doesn't got it like that. She just doesn't have it like that at all.
No.
I'm a big Tauriel defender.
Yep.
I think she's done dirty in the movies with the love triangle.
Yes.
But Evangeline Lilly's gorgeous. She's playing her pretty badass. She does like a lot of cool features in this movie. She also gets fucking clapped by Bolg, like hard clapped. Like it's kind of embarrassing. Like you think she's gonna save the orc that kills Keeley.
Yeah. But like, you're talking about 12 hours of movie that I can't remember. That's
fair. But like, you think she's gonna, jump in and save my love. Nah, dude, he basically backhands her. And it's like, nah, fam, watch me kill your situationship right in front of you.
Now, hold on. It's important to note, we do not see a fighting Arwen. We see Tauriel do more fighting than Arwen does. She is able to sneak up on Aragorn. That's pretty cool.
That's insane.
That's
Jessica.
what I'm saying. I think that is a huge scale tip.
That's
a huge scale tip.
Like when that happens, you're like, oh, that's fun. Then you learn about Aragorn and you're like, how the fuck did she do that?
You know what though? It's also possible he has blinders on for her. Do you know what I mean? Like, he might hear Legolas, but he loves her so much he might have blinders on.
But like, even, people could say like, oh, well, he knows she's not a threat. He would still hear the Hobbits coming.
Yeah. So that's the only reason why I think Eowyn would win, because that's her real true...
Arwen.
Thank you. I've always had that problem. Arwen would win because that's her only true display of like good battle skills or something like that.
And that's the thing, like, we are giving like our Tauriel like a little too much disrespect because she does have a lot of on-screen fighting in the last two movies. She kicks a lot of spider ass, she kicks a lot of orc ass up until like her final fight against Bolg. But
I think Arwen, though, being a little bit more grace, gives her like a leg up here. I think Tauriel is a little too emotional, and that's going to go against her.
It's strange though. You could almost say that like her emotion, because like her emotion is like the one time she loses the fight. It's because like when she's cold and calculated in the second movie, she's like
on it,
cutting heads off, and like soloing 30 orcs. And then the one time she gets after she heals Keely, she's compromised, man.
I think Tauriel wins this. I do not know about Arwen being a fighter. She is just a lady in waiting.
I gotta disagree. I gotta go to bat. I'm sorry. Like the way she is not a lady in waiting does not outride 9 Nazgul.
She's also an elf.
So? Plenty of elves have fallen before those Nazgul.
Okay, that's fair. She's also Elrond's baby, so she's like special. She's special beings.
And Middle Earth Nepo baby means something.
Sure, that's exactly right. No, it's fair. That's 100% right. She deserves everything she gets.
I'm not gonna fault you for saying Tauriel wins.
Is that why she was cast? Because she is a Nepo baby IRL?
It's possible.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, but did you see that Maya Hawke video?
You mean talking about how people are only getting cast because of certain
Instagram followers?
Dude, it's been the case for 10 years now.
But it like, I'm not... That's very true. Like, I mean, like, we've talked about it with Game of Thrones. Like, Sophie Turner said that's why she got X-Men. Not even because of Game of Thrones, because of her Instagram.
Yeah.
But for Maya Hawke to say that is something different, though.
Well, yes. You're 100% right. It's a world that I don't want to compete in. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But it is a world that we live in. I'm just saying she's just speaking truth to something that's been going on for a while. And you're totally right. Like, but she wouldn't have gotten cast in Stranger Things too, like.
No, you're totally right. But that's what I'm saying is that like, if you would have said this, it could be very, very true, but someone's going to make, oh, well, she's just mad she didn't get the part. Like, someone's going to say that. No one's going to say that about Maya Hawke.
That's so true. That's a fair point. Yeah.
No one's going to say that about an actual celebrity Nepo baby who's already been in, like, 3 huge things. She's been in a Tarantino movie, Stranger Things, and, one other thing I can't think of. But, like...
What Tarantino movie was she in?
She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah, Tarantino got, like, all of, like, the future of Hollywood outside. Like, the only person that's not in it was, like, Timothée Chalamet and, like, Zendaya or something.
Oh, funny.
Like, Austin Butler's in it.
Oh.
Sydney Sweeney's in it.
Oh.
Mikey Madison from Anora is in it.
Okay.
Who else? Maya Hawke was in it.
Funny.
Both what are the Dakota and both the Fanning? Yeah, both. I think both the Fannings are in it. So like,
I mean, they were out, but that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I have to check it out then. I still think Tauriel. I think just because I just have to give it to her because we see more of her prowess.
I'm not mad about that.
Now I think it makes it a good fight.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as scrappy as the Eowyn Hera.
No,
fight.
It's not that close.
I think there's like some. I'm trying to think of like how they fight. I can't quite. I think it's a lot of disarming and also like. They don't think about it as long as
they're going for arm bars. They're going like this is a very technical.
What's an arm bar mean? You said it.
It's like where you bend your arm at like the wrong direction.
Is that usually people you're allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are trying to pain the person out. I got it. I understand that. Yep.
This is a tap out fight for sure.
I think Tauriel taps out then.
That's what I'm saying. As I think Tauriel taps out.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, that's helpful to know that I just am not an MMA person, but that's helpful to know the different types of fighting. That's what happens. Fucking loser, Tauriel.
Fucking loser. Lost your man in this fight. That's how Arwen gets her, honestly. They're like, wrestling around. She's like, oh, you lost your man too.
It's a pain fight in multiple ways.
Oh yeah. She's talking mad shit.
They're talking the whole time.
Time.
And Tauriel can't keep up. Can't keep up. That's so fucking funny. That's exactly right. This is the best episode we've ever done besides the March Madness one or the basketball team one. Was it basketball or football? Yeah, football. All right, we have 2 more fights. You can't even guess. They're going to be sick.
These are our main events of the night. We have a 2-sided main card. First up, on our main event, we have Isildur's heir himself, Aragorn of the Dunedain, versus Helm, the one-punch king himself, Helm Hammerhand.
Let's go.
This is all Jess, because I legit didn't have Aragorn in a fight because I thought he would be just like too good for any.
It's just like you can't like put Tom Bombadil in there. Even if you put him up against Gandalf, Tom Bombadil's gonna win. Like,
exactly. Yeah. And like, I was like, oh, who can Aragorn fight? Like, I can't think of like any man.
He'd crush Eomer. He'd
crush Boromir, crush Faramir. Yeah. Like, I thought about like Haldir or something like that. Maybe that would be close.
That'd be interesting. But also Haldir gets fucking.
Yeah, exactly. Haldir gets beat by an Uruk-hai in front of me. But Jess brought up Helm Hammerhand, and I thought that was absolutely genius.
Because they are different men, and they fight differently.
They are different men, and Helm, I'm sorry, like his combat on screen is fucking insane. He's out there sleeveless in 10-degree blizzards, soloing an army.
It is the only redemptive factor of that entire movie, and it's fucking sick. It's movie
so sick.
Is worth it alone for that. That's the price of admission right there. And I still think about it, how boom, uppercutting. Like he might as well just be grabbing fucking thunderbolts and like shooting at people.
Borderline was.
It's the coolest fight. And then you got Aragorn, man. I don't need to tell you about Aragorn, but that man can do it all.
He can do it all. He can beat 5 Nazgul with a torch and a blunt sword. Like,
it's a pretty evenly matched, though not statuesquely, fight.
And he was going toe to toe with like that battle troll. Like he was like he got punched and he was pinned right at the end, but he was, for a mortal man to like be like dueling with a fucking cave troll is insane.
That's a really excellent point. And now we have to. This is where they become a little bit more evenly matched. Aragorn is Númenorian. He is like he's got a whole thing. He's got this whole package. I guess what I'm curious of, because Helm is not. I think if Aragorn
Helm's anime build is insane, by the way. Like, it's kind of unfair that, like, Hugo Weaving was called last second. I mean, not Hugo Weaving. Viggo Mortensen was called last second to, replace, what's his fucking name?
You don't want him anymore, yo.
No, oh my god. Like, that's the thing, is that if he was playing Aragorn, like, this would be, like, the biggest ass whooping in the planet. But like his anime build, he's just like, he looks 9 feet tall, like 350 pounds of muscle. Like, it's crazy.
Aragorn would dink off him, I think. It'd be like,
yeah.
And like, you wouldn't. Okay, so literally in the movie and in lore, Helm like one punches the guy and kills him. I think Aragorn knows about this guy going in, so I don't think he's going for the punch strategy, because like if he like even lays a hand on him, I think it actually is going to hurt Aragorn. I think we're going for like the topple strategy, like he's trying to get under and like get him out from under his legs. Is that a thing?
It is, but I disagree in this
point.
Oh, okay.
So
there's an anime called One Punch Man, and like he beats everybody with one punch, and like he's like so bored of his superhero life because he's like, I want a good fight. Like, I just keep beating all these monsters with one punch. I think Aragorn walks right, ding, 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 walks right up to Helm Hammerhand. Helm is surprised, and he winds up, punches Aragorn. Aragorn does the whole, wipes his mouth, and smiles. And Helm Hammerhand is, what? And just completely mentally frazzled, and Aragorn beats the shit out of him.
But I don't think he can beat the shit out of him physically. I think he needs to get him down and pin him.
Yes.
And because Helm has never had to
he's got no ground game. He's got no ground game.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
Aragorn's been in the mud his entire life.
There you go. And he's sinewy enough that he like gets into the crevice of his fucking neck and you can't, and like almost like Helm's.
Oh yeah, he's like a little fucking mountain viper. He's like,
that's exactly right. Like his muscles are working against him and keep Aragorn's hand there to make him pass out.
That's the thing. Like Helm Hammerhand is a boxer.
Yeah.
Aragorn's an MMA fighter.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly.
Once you get Helm off his feet, he's cooked. He's just done.
And he probably does get off of his feet pretty quickly because you're right. He's rattled. But like in a fun way,
because he's never. And this is where endurance comes into it. Helm has never had a long fight.
Yeah,
he's never needed a long fight.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I have this image though of Aragorn like diving between Helm's legs underneath, like to get him out from under his legs. Like
that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like he also knows how to do a mean kick too. I think Aragorn's kicking and punching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just like kicking him like on his thighs. Yeah, just like hitting on his thighs over and over again. And then like Helm's gonna like plant on that leg to punch again, and it's gonna buckle, and then he's done.
Why do I picture Helm in like what are they called? Not a banana hammock. Singlets? Is that what they're called?
The wrestling thing, yeah.
What's that? What's a singlet?
The wrestling outfit? They're called singlets?
Oh no, that's better. No, I was thinking just like just the undie one, like a sheet, like almost like a. Oh,
like the Greek like gladiator kind of thing.
Yeah, I can't quite think of the name. I had it and I lost it. I think Aragorn doesn't eke this out. I think he's got it. If Aragorn doesn't do the intimidation and take the hit right away, then he doesn't win, but he can.
He can. Yeah. I think Aragorn's got it. I think it's a great fight. I think it's super entertaining.
Totally.
But I think endurance and ground game comes into this, and I don't think Helm Hammerhand has either of those.
I think Helm taps.
Oh yeah, Helm. Like I don't think it's a knockout. Helm taps. Because he knows he's bested.
And, like, shakes his hand.
Oh yeah. They're getting a beer afterwards. Yeah. Like it's great.
That's exactly right. I think also when they shake hands after, it actually hurts Aragorn's hand.
Oh yeah, Aragorn's in pain after this. Yeah. Like I remember it was Forrest Griffin versus Rampage Jackson, and Rampage was like at like the height of his career. And they're like, oh, how did you like Forrest Griffin ended up winning? And he was like, how did you like feel about the fight? Like, it hurt. When he kicked me and I blocked it, it hurt. When he punched me and I blocked it, it hurt. Like, it's like
I fucking love that though. Beyond it does hurt.
Yeah.
You gotta do it though still. That's amazing. All right. Are you ready to lead us into
Are you guys ready for the main event?
Woo! I don't think they are, man.
I don't think you're ready for the hottest main event you've ever seen.
Now, this is what I want to see: leather oil wrestling.
No one would disagree with you on this one.
One of them stick their hands down the pants.
We've got our two hottie bobati mogging you, just like straight jawline, beautiful face, flowing hair, but also can make a buzz cut look good. We've got Legolas versus Arondir in the final match of the night.
Let's go. This is the fight everyone wanted and didn't know they needed.
Everyone has wanted this. Like, even the most cynical haters of Rings of Power has to give it up for Arondir. Like, even if you're like, oh, elves should only be white and blonde. Like, oh, this motherfucker, though.
This motherfucker. I watched that fight. I watched that I'll
fight.
Bet for him. All right, okay.
This guy's got something
before
on him.
We start breaking this down, because I don't think you did any thought about this very much more than I did. Who you putting your money on?
After seeing Battle of the Five Armies, I have to go with Legolas.
Oh, God. He's so yoked in that too.
He's so huge. Like, Orlando Bloom did nothing but hit the gym from Pirates until that movie. I've seen the photo with him and Katy Perry naked fucking paddleboarding. The guy has a huge cock and huge biceps.
It must have just been warm out that day. It just had to be warm out.
Whatever you gotta tell yourself, Jessica. Some guys just have all the luck. I'm not one of them, but Orlando Bloom is.
As he points downwards, folks, I'm not one of them.
I'm not one of them.
I want it so badly.
I'm more of a Keebler elf in that situation than a woodland realm. Yeah, Legolas from the woodland realm, if you know what I'm saying.
No, they are the same elf. They are from the same clan, right? They're both wood elves.
It seems like it, yeah.
I think that's right. I would love Arondir to win this fight, and I think Arondir tries his darndest. I really do. But I do think Legolas pulls it out. I really do.
I think this is a really good first round. I think this is a great first round fight. They're both giving it their all. Arondir's holding his own. Legolas is like kind of feeling him out, trying to see like, oh, who is this? You know, who is this guy?
I love that they don't know each other at all.
They don't know each other?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And I think the second round, I think Legolas beats the shit out of him. I think if this was just Lord of the Rings, if this was just Lord of the Rings Legolas with all his feats, I still think it's a very good fight because this is wafy princess, 19-year-old Orlando Bloom.
Totally.
You put younger Legolas, younger. This is like Wolverine, where like when you meet Hugh Jackman in 2000, and he's like, oh, he's kind of like he's 2000. He's like normal guy buff.
Yeah.
In that movie, and then 10 years later when you're making the Wolverine, and it's apparently in World War II. Earlier, but he is so fucking roided out that it's insane. And you get to, we just talked about Deadpool and Wolverine. The veins on his bicep are so insane. Like, I don't know what to do with them.
Yep.
And so that's what we're talking about here.
You ride them, Ben. You ride them.
Yeah, I just hold on for dear life, honestly.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about here. And that's what you're getting with the Hobbit Legolas. When he shows up surfing on a spider web and throwing daggers which way and that way, and then in Battle of the Five Armies literally killing 150 orcs in 10 seconds with sword. He's using Orcrist, the sword. He's using the sword to like solo everybody, and then literally is so confident. He just watched Tauriel get the shit beat out of her by Bolg. Bolg killed two very capable dwarves, and then he is so confident that he sees Thorin in trouble, and he's like, fuck this sword. Throws it up, gives him Orcrist basically by killing an orc, and it's like, I still have my daggers. Now you're fucking in for it. This sword isn't even my main. This is my third weapon. My first weapon's a bow. My second weapons are daggers. This is like my C tier weapon, and I'm fucking this army up. So now you're in trouble because I'm out of arrows. Like, this is the quote: "I'm out of arrows. I'm out of swords. Now it's time to kick ass."
Now it's time. Now I've chewed the bubble gum.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: we see Arondir go fisticuffs more than Legolas.
Again, that's what I'm saying. First round is close.
Yeah.
First round is close. I'll even let you have Arondir get saved by the bell in the second round. He's wobbling, he's stumbling, and Legolas is pressing in, and then the clap happens. Make it, you gotta make it.
What do the announcers say in between round 2 and 3? And what do they say that Arondir has to do if he wants a chance at winning this?
Arondir has lost the first 2 rounds. This is not going to go to a decision. He's got to make a move. He has
What's the move? What's he got to do?
He's either got to die for Legolas and try and get him on the ground because so far there hasn't been a lot of ground game, and maybe Arondir does, and Legolas just where it's what is it? He's got it's where you try and like grab somebody and they just what it is, Arondir's on the ground, Legolas is over him, like hitting him down. He tries to grab him for an arm bar, and Legolas lifts him so like high up in the air as his whole body and slams him on the ground, and that's the fight.
Yeah, that's exactly right. God damn. Although we've seen Arondir move somebody over, like he had that giant troll on top of him.
Yes.
Oh, but what's Bronwyn saved him there?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a fucking loser.
He's not a loser. This is like his first big. This is like, he was working up in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
This is like his big debut. He was like 11-0. Working his way up to this title fight, and he just wasn't ready.
You think you're going up against like lithe, beautiful Legolas, and then you get into the ring because you only watched tape on him, and
yeah, you've only seen the tape, you've never seen him in person, and then he shows up like, I don't know,
crushing Celsius.
Cellulus.
I forgot. I don't drink it. I was trying to talk like the kids talk.
No, Hobbit Legolas is shotgunning monster.
Yeah.
Like
his piss is liquid death.
Like he's got like the sideways baseball cap with the famous logo on it. Like
him and Travis Barker are bros.
Yeah, exactly. Travis Barker's in his ring crew.
He's got so many tattoos that they had to cover up during the filming of The Hobbit.
Absolutely.
Him and Ed Hardy are homies.
He's like Adam Levine, whereas like Adam Levine's like the prettiest pretty boy, but then like you see that Super Bowl photo and he looks like a fucking metal singer. He's like, open up the fucking pit. She will be logged.
Nothing has ever changed my mind about somebody so fast than watching Adam Levine spit on his hand to have sex at the beginning of American Horror Story.
That is the only episode of American Horror Story I've seen, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I stopped right there and I went,
yep,
that I don't need that in my life. I don't need to see a dude spitting on his hand to put it on his cock to enter this girl in front of a haunted door.
On cable television. Like, what are we doing?
It was You're exactly right. I didn't like him enough to see that, and it would totally sullied everything for me.
Totally fair, honestly. Totally fair.
Believe me, we've all been there. I don't want to see it. That's not where I want to go. It'd be sexier if she did it. Anyway, Legolas wins the fight. I think we did a good job. Let us know.
I think we did a great job.
I know we did. But let us know what we got wrong. Let us know what fights you would have wanted to see. And
I want to see comments. Especially Eowyn versus Hera.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the closest fight that honestly we couldn't even decide. So I'm really curious to see what people have to say about that.
That's exactly right. Ben and I are in a position of transition, so stay updated with us by heading over to the Patreon at patreon.com/podcast of the rings. We're also semi-active on X and semi-active on our Instagram. And we're just grateful that you guys are here to join us for this really, really fun discussion.
This was a really fun discussion.
Really
Very happy about it.
All right. And until next time,
may our paths meet again.
Ding, ding.